Welcome to Exit Algorithms, the podcast where we decode what it really takes to unlock growth, streamline operations, and prepare your business for a high-value exit. I'm your host, Pete Vera, and today I'm joined by Lexson Mathieu, Chief Business Development Officer at Odase Investment Consortium and a former undefeated professional boxer who transitioned into business acquisitions and scaling. He's built a platform that acquires operating companies and has deployed capital across multiple ventures. Lexon, super excited to have you on the show. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. When I put on LinkedIn, I was a chief business development officer. Because when you start something and you mention that you're the founder or the CEO, it doesn't sound really serious. Like when you start something from scratch. So I prefer to downgrade myself, saying that I don't claim that I'm the owner or the founder, or I never claim myself to be the CEO. I'm not qualified enough to be the CEO of my own company anyway. So that's why I put the business development officer. But I'm co-founder with my brother. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I respect that. I appreciate the humility. It's uncommon sometimes. So definitely. Yeah, can you walk us through your professional, your boxing career and how you pivoted into business?
Yeah. I was like boxing is a family thing for me. My parents being a fighter. My father was a boxer also, but he was more deep into karate and taekwondo. But my first fight in boxing amateur, I was 11. Since then, I won a lot of competition. I brought back gold medal internationally. And I turned pro at 19, 20. I don't exactly remember, but it was something big for me because it was my dream to become wealthy by boxing and being like this gladiator. Yeah, it was something great. And I did a really, really good professional career in boxing. Undefeated, top 15 in the world, an ABF champion. But everything changed when COVID came.
Mm.
When it came, we couldn't sell any tickets anymore. We had to get vaccinated to continue boxing, do all the stuff. So I decided to change my life completely. I decided to give away my belt, to give up my belt, call all my sponsors, say, don't pay me anymore. I'm not going to box. Calling my manager, say, I'm not going to box anymore. I'm done with it. And I left the country. But in that time, the only country that was open, the border was open because of COVID, was Mexico. So I left in Mexico. I put all my money into cryptocurrency, not because I wanted to make money, just because I want to have control over my finance. And things start to went well in cryptocurrency, like
Yeah.
really, really, really well at that time. Also, my manager, he had the greatest promotion company called I Have Tiger Management. But in life, he's doing that because he like boxing, but in life, he's a really wealthy man. He managed $10 billion for his client in the stock market. So when I called him and said, I'm retiring, he said, Lexson, you should start an investment fund. He was talking about the hedge fund. But my brother and I didn't want to keep speculating on coins because we knew that it's a wave that can surf, but you need to exit. So we exit at the top of the market. By example, we bought Ethereum at $400 and we sold it at 4,500. And we did flip like that. So we sold everything at the top of the market. And now we said, it's time to buy real productive asset that whether serve a service or sell a good to people. So that's when the restrictions were down, we went back in Canada to do some M&A. We didn't know
Mm.
anything about how to buy a business. It's not like just buying a stock or a coin on the market. It's way more complicated than that. So because we didn't know anything about it, we created this holding called Odase Investment Consortium, and we gave equity to people that we didn't even know. We reached out to those people on LinkedIn, people who did transactions before, like lawyers, accountant. We chose a chairman, and we gave them equity, like 8% equity and stuff like that. People that we never met in real life. A lot of people thought we
Wow.
were crazy, but when you have nothing really, you don't really risk anything. It's better to have, I don't know, 10% of something that's worth $1 billion than 100% that's something worth 100 grand or a
Yeah.
$1 million. So that's what we did. We we started that, and I followed the model of Dan Peña, QLA. I don't know if you hear about that, but he wrote a book, Your First 100 Million. It's a book about M&A and
Mm,
acquisition, doing a roll up. So I followed that model, and it worked, but it was difficult. It was difficult finding
sure.
my first deal. Doing my first acquisition took me a year and a half,
Yeah.
year and a
Wow.
half. But after that, 18 months following my first acquisition, we did four other acquisitions. So
Nice.
once you understand the recipe, it can go very fast. But I had to go through those walls and those obstacles in order to understand how it worked, how to create a recipe, and how to make it through the bank to get the approval, to negotiate with the sellers and everything. So yeah, my first acquisition was a trucking company of $5.4 million,
Okay.
and we put little to no capital in that deal. That was a
Nice.
tricky one. That's why it took also a longer time to do my first deal, because I had no capital to put down. I didn't want to put any capital also. I didn't want to
Hmm.
capital. I knew that a good deal can stand by itself, can be
Yeah.
financed whether by the bank or someone else. So my money, I use it to live, for a year and a half of prospecting, buying soup, flowers to gatekeepers so they can let me go through and see the boss, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Meet a lot of buying leads, working with Zoom Info, one of the biggest platform to get some leads. Back then, it was costing me, I think, $2,000 or $4,000 per month to get those leads. So yeah, that was investing in yourself and your new business. That's what
For
it is.
sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
So
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah. Sorry.
no, yeah, that was my short resume.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's incredible. You took a leap of faith first going from boxing to, to investing in crypto, which, people were not necessarily certain about, right?
Mm.
And then crypto to M&A and you just kind of dove into it and went all out. Would you say your boxing career has influenced your approach to business and life?
My boxing career, it's a result of my um, resilience. Because I'm resilient, I could eat thousands of punches before learning how to dodge.
Mm,
No, I ate a lot of punches before learning how to dodge them, and I keep going on, even if it's difficult. I keep going on. So that's why I had a good career, because I was resilient in boxing. A lot of good boxers just gave up after when it went too difficult. So the same thing with my business career in M&A. A year and a half of dialing, I did 10,000 dials before finding my first company. So anyone, put them on the desk, ask him to do just 100 cold calls. Most of them will give up at 7 cold calls because nobody's
hmm
responding, or they get insulted by the people, by the gatekeeper, or the owner on the phone. So after 100, 200, 500 cold calls, like a week of cold calls, after a month, after 2 months of cold calls, it's it's heavy, but you need resilience to keep moving. So yeah, if I was able to eat punches like that in the ring, I'm able to get some uh, rejection on the phone or even in meetings and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, I can say my boxing career helped me like that.
Sure. Oh yeah, definitely. Not common that you find people willing to make the 10,000 cold calls. Especially, yeah, prospecting for business, trying to find the right business. I've experienced a bit of that myself, but a lot of owners, they're getting just totally bombarded by people on the phone too. So yeah, I imagine you experience a lot of frustration in that in that process.
You know, Uh, at the end of 5 companies, 100 employees, I wasn't that bothered by people cold calling me. I was a bit disappointed. I thought when you're going to be a business owner, everyone will blow up your phone trying to sell you things, but not that much. Honestly, not that much. I can count on my fingers at the time that someone could call me to sell me something. I don't know
Hmm.
because I was not on the list, but still, like a lot of numbers came to me. Like if you call any of my businesses and you want to speak with the owner, it went to me after. So no, people are saying, when I didn't have any business, I didn't know. So people were saying to me, I always have those calls, or that's not true. I don't know for you, but for me, no, I don't receive a lot of spam stuff like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it just depends. Yeah, on what lists you're on and everything.
Yeah,
Uh, but
that's
yeah,
it.
I want to talk about your search for a business. What were you looking for exactly? Like, in your opinion, what makes a business attractive beyond, of course, just the EBITDA, the profit number?
For
Yeah,
me, only thing really mattered is the motivated. So if he was motivated, even if the business was perfect, but the guy was like 40 years old, and when I ask why he wants to sell, I'm saying, oh, perhaps I'm going to invest in real estate or do something else. I don't get into this deal. I don't go meet him because I know it's
Hmm.
going to be a waste of time. Because I know after 3 months, you have lawyers and looking at the financials and at the trucks and everything. He's going to say, oh, okay, you offer me like 5 years of work. If I keep the business another 3, 4 years, I can make the same amount of money. I will keep it. That's it. So I'm only dealing with people who want to exit and retire. Only
Hmm.
that. I'm motivated. So even if his business was not perfect, I will figure it out a way to do a good deal together if he's motivated. So that was my first criteria.
Got it. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Absolutely. The owner has to be ready to retire and move on to the next stage. Otherwise, no deal is going to work, right?
Yeah. Some people will tell me when I call them, say, hey, do you want to sell a business? I will be a buyer. Oh, it depends on the offer. If you make me an offer that I can't refuse, then no, I don't. I'm not gonna put the gun on your head, or if that's what a offer that you can refuse. And I won't send you a check of $1 billion for a company because I'm aiming at fragmented industries. Trucking
Hmm.
is a fragmented industry. So if one guy don't want to sell me his company, I have thousands of other companies to call. But I'm not gonna call like I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna try to do a roll up of a bank. Like in Canada, we have 6 banks. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so say you find a seller that is motivated, he wants to retire, wants to move on, pass his business on to someone else. Um, what is the ideal situation with the business? Like, how could a seller prep for a successful sale, in your opinion?
Hmm. I want the seller to have a good relationship with his bank. Like use credit a little bit because it help a lot. Okay, if let's say you want to buy a business and looking for financing, it help a lot when the current owner have a good relationship with his banker, and if you want to buy a business, you go see his banker with the owner, because the owner need to be part of the solution. And I ask that always to people that want to buy the business. Say, please be part of the solution. Don't play a game like you're on one side, I'm the other side, and we're playing game, trying to negotiate. You need to be on my side, otherwise I will have difficulty to get financing. Be part of the solution, please. Come introduce me to your banker. Ask for a bigger line of credit.
Hmm.
So I need $200,000 to operate the business, but you can get a line of credit of $1 million. Or we're gonna use that money to buy you out. We're gonna use that as a as cash to buy you out. So there's multiple ways to frame a deal and close it. It helps when the seller is part of the solution. And if you want to help me do the selection and like help to make a good exit, have good credit with your banks.
Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a unique answer. Um, yeah, it makes a lot of sense,
A lot of
especially in
people don't even know that they have a line of credit. They operate the business for years without line of credits. You don't need that. They have cash in the bank. Ask. Go see your banker and ask and push for a bigger line of credit. You just say you want to sell in 2 years, 3 years, start right now. Ask for a line of credit. Next year, ask to extend it. and 2 years after ask to extend it again.
Yeah.
Because credit is money. If your company can have a line of credit of $2 million, like your company worth more. Like it's like that. So yeah, go work your credit like that.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't mean
that's
credit card. I really mean line of credit. Your credit
mhm.
card, but yeah, line of credit for your business.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense, especially in a asset heavy business like trucking, where there's a lot of capital expenditures required.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you prefer trucking companies that own their trucks versus leasing?
No, I have
To,
preference. I prefer companies that have no assets at all, but I never
Mhm.
bought those. Never bought those. I always bought companies that have assets. It was easier to finance, but doesn't make a huge difference. Yes, if they lease it, it's sometimes complicated to break the contract. So you assume some contract, look at everything. But my first transaction, those people didn't have any debt. All the truck were paid in cash, so it was easier to just go see a bank and they finance everything. So I
yeah,
didn't have to deal with all the lenders and the leasers or something like that. But no, like I don't suggest to owners of companies to buy their assets. No, don't have to buy their assets. Again, I have no shame to use debt. Some people will say,
hmm,
"Oh, my company worth more because I don't have any debt." No, that's not true. We're doing an adjustment. Yeah, it's not true. But yeah, yeah, selling
yeah,
or buying, pretty much the same thing.
gotcha. Yeah, how many trucks did the company own that you first bought? You said it was about 5 million, right?
Yeah, it was 20 trucks, but you have a lot of trailers. They had like 90 trailers, and after I bought a couple trailers, like 10, 12, 12 trailers after that. So we had more than 100 trailers and 20 trucks for this company. I lost count of all the trucks now. I lost count of all the trucks, but now I'm selling a lot of trucks also. So yeah, I lost count.
Gotcha. Yeah, so once you bought the business, what were some of the first couple things that you did to implement to
That was
propel the
really
company?
that
Hmm.
was really simple. My CFO said, "Okay, now we have the business expense. Cut the biggest expenses. What is the biggest expenses? It was fuel, insurance, maintenance. That's what we did. We sat down with two suppliers of fuel. We save okay the numbers. We save like $60,000 on fuel per year. It's not huge when you think about it, but still, we save $30,000 of insurance. Like as a person owner, I say, hey, we have old trailers, like 2012 trailers in the yard that we use, and we are insured on both sides, meaning like they're fully insured. So why are we paying for that? It's too much coverage. It's not Alexander. You cannot. It's not like a car. You cannot just change. You cannot just change your insurance and everything. So yeah, you sure? I called my insurance broker and said, yeah, Alexander, you can. Do you want to like all the older equipment? You want to insure them less? I said yes, of course. So I think it was at $30,000 that I saved with that,
Wow.
and the maintenance I saved another $30,000 renegotiating the rate of hour because the maintenance was done by a third party,
Mm.
third of my company. The people were taking care of my trucks and trailers, so I saved more than $100,000 the first like month or two owning that company.
Nice.
So that
Yeah.
was really simple. It didn't take a genius to do it. It's just asking. Ask and you will receive. So meet with the people and ask. Okay, I know we don't know each other personally. Like I'm new owner. Can you do a little something? Can you reduce your price? That's it. And because this company have a huge history with those people, they knew the owner for like 20 years. They feel like they have a loyalty with it. They want to continue doing business with us because we have a big volume. So we can ask. Other thing I did after that was not good for the relationship, but at the same time they were not my friend. I stopped paying them on 30 days.
Mm.
No, I want to build my own working capital. So I postpone and delay their payments. And I tell them, I don't hide or something like that. They call me and say, no, I'm paying you in 60 days. Yeah, but that's not the agreement. That's what I'm gonna do. and I tried to collect the accounts receivables earlier.
Yeah.
That's something that I learned doing M&A that I didn't know about, but my CFO told me to do it. So I did it. So I suggest everyone to do it. Also, I know it's a big shark, but we are in a merger and acquisition. Like, what other world can be more shark than that? And I'm from the boxing world, also. It's basically the jungle. Like you need to, it's eat to be eaten. So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you really emphasize the cost saving, like the bottom line, affecting the bottom line a lot right
It's,
away.
it's easy, but it takes a real businessman to drive up the top line to bring more revenue because everyone can cut costs. It's easy, but driving revenue is something else. You need to be a different breed. You need to be a salesman.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it sounds like your strategy is a lot of growth through acquisition,
Yeah, it was.
right? How soon after you bought your first company did you buy another business?
I think was 4 months, 3 months.
4 months.
Not sure, but it was really quick because my second acquisition, we already knew the guy. Because for a year and a half, we tried to close a lot of deals. That's the thing, bro. So we people start to knew us, or like they talk about us. We talk every like 2 months on the phone with those sellers. So once I closed my first acquisition, also I have access to more capital. That's another thing. Before doing my first deal, nobody wants to lend me money really. After
Mm,
my first deal, banks will lend me money with like eyes closed. It was something. It was special. First time I just asked BDC, a bank in Canada, just another $200,000 because I wanted to make a small acquisition of a moving company like
sure.
that. It took me a week to get the money. So it just added more money into my current open loan with them. So my second company was a small company, so a small moving company. We're making like $250,000 of EBITDA, and I bought it for
Mm,
1 time EBITDA. At the beginning, the owner wanted 2 time EBITDA, like a $500,000. And after buying my first company, I told him like, no. I said, if you want to retire, just sum your company for this price and go in Florida. That's all. And we're gonna do the deal. So I bought this company. I had to work in this small moving company for a couple of weeks with a friend of ours that helped us manage that company. It was funny because I learned a lot on how to create a small business with that. It was my first time opening a small company. It was this moving company.
mm.
Otherwise, with my bigger trucking company was something else. I have way more employees and it helped. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I recommend also to do bigger deals. It's simpler to do bigger deals than smaller deals.
Sure. Yeah, and it's about the same amount of work, right? As far as
Yeah.
bringing together the financing and then trying to keep the business afloat, you might actually be easier with a bigger company, right? With more
Same
systems and processes.
negotiation and even the same emotion. Like people get angry when you negotiate them $100,000 for a company of 500,000, but they get the same amount of frustration and emotion when you negotiate like a 1 million out of a deal of 6 million.
Mm,
It's the same drama. It's not more drama when you do a $6 million transaction than a $100,000 transaction. It's the same drama. In fact, a couple of years ago, I wanted to buy like for fun like a pet, and I wanted to buy some pet food. I went on marketplace, and I think the guy was asking like $100 for this pet food, and I offer him like $40. And for that, went crazy. I got insulted. Like he really crashed out for that. And you can try yourself. Is the same thing, same drama to do something like that with a $100 deal than a $5 million transaction. People crash out the same. So if you want to deal with drama, at least deal with drama with the $10 million transaction than a $500,000 transaction.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
bigger.
that makes sense. For sure. Yeah, may as well go big, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so okay, so you bought a trucking company and then a moving company. Those might not necessarily, a lot of people wouldn't say those are really like
There's
synergistic. Yeah, like
they are
they are
they
and
are
okay. How did
yeah,
you how did you kind of integrate those two?
because the box truck that you use to do some moving, you can also use it to do some LTL, like so small city
Yeah.
move. What else? Most of it's like that. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, my trucking company that I bought for 5.4 a year before they had a moving department. So they had two. In fact, they started with moving 40 years ago. They started with moving and they add trucks after to do long haul. But yeah,
Got it. Okay. Yeah, okay. So if it's dry van LTL or even FTL, you could I guess that okay, that makes sense. You could at least use the same equipment.
yeah,
Have you expanded the moving side of the business or more towards
yes,
the LTL?
yes. It was easier. I got about 200 moving trucks. I use the same CRM system that I use in the other moving company that I bought to use in my first company that I bought. So yeah, we expanded the moving company, but it was a bit chaos. The previous team was sick. Like when I bought the company, they closed the moving for a reason. They were tired of dealing with consumers and complain everything. So when I reopened it, I had like a little riot in the office. Like, no, don't do this and blah 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 blah. Yeah, so it was a headache, but still, yeah, it's my experience.
Gotcha. Yeah. Was there, as you've grown the business, what were some of the challenges there or maybe the bottlenecks as you grew? Did you have to hire a lot of people to help grow? Um, yeah, what
Yeah,
was that? How was that for
you
you?
need to delay fast as possible. There are someone who will take care of the business, and you need to to guide them and keep them accountable. That's the most important thing, to keep them accountable. And you cannot keep like 20 people accountable, is too much. You can keep, if you're good, 5 people accountable every week, looking at what they do, asking for a report, and really make sure that they're doing their job. That's what you have to do. Finding good people is difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you find people within your network already, or did you have to go and search for them?
I had to go and search for them. I had to some post LinkedIn and other I hired people to help me to find them. Yeah, I had to do some digging. It
Sure. Yeah, because
was my
your
first time
business.
really dealing with people, because when you hire them, I didn't know that people were so much not organized and have problem in their life, like drugs. People who have good career, good background, but you can see that they have some problems, they have some issue, and you don't want that in your company. You don't want that. You need to screen people very fast. You need to be able to screen people and to be tranchant, need to cut when it's time, cut fast, fire fast.
Mm,
I had some problem with the wrong people, but again, I was early 20s. I had to make my mistake. I had made some mistake of hiring the wrong people. It's part of it. It's part of the game.
yeah, learning process for sure. And
Fire,
was that?
fire people fast when you have to, as soon as do. Often when they're new, no second chances when they're new. Like fire them fast, because I didn't knew about all the law like protecting employees um, here in Canada.
Mm, yeah, complicated.
Yeah,
Do in the businesses that you buy, are they running pretty much without the owner, or do you hire a general manager to run the day-to-day of your businesses?
yeah. And I hire a general manager, and those people are the people that I keep accountable. That's the people that you need to keep accountable. So I had 5 people that, every week. I'm looking at what they're doing, and that's the people that when you hire them, you need to make sure that they're the right people.
Mm, yeah. in any of the acquisitions, was there already a management team in place, or have you had to build that yourself?
When you say management team, you mean the old team? Because yes, they always have a management team, but you still need to change the general manager.
Hmm,
So yes, they always have a management team, but you have to find one good general manager that will keep the management team accountable.
I see. Yeah, to kind of take over what the previous owner was doing.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
and it can be me because I never seen the interior of a truck before buying my first company of $5.4 million. I didn't know anything about the industry before getting into it. You're gonna ask me how did I get the financing? Because I gave equity to industry expert people who are retired or wanted to retire and want to help me for like 2-3%. My chairman was had 8%, CFO at 8% also, but industry expert I gave him 2-3% to guide me a little bit. So it helped me secure the financing also. And the banks
Nice.
I was well surrounded. So I think the thing is, right after buying my first company, or no, right before buying the company, they start trying to squeeze me more equity because they think we are important. They start to try to squeeze me. So I had to get rid.
Hmm.
So when I got my first company, I didn't have any industry expert. So while being in the company, I was keep looking for other industry expert to join me. Anyways, it's a anecdote for of my experience in this industry, but yeah, that's life. That's life. I figured it out. It was okay.
Yeah, it sometimes you need that at the beginning, and then you shed it, and now you can do things on your own. You learn through those experiences, right?
Hey, at the beginning, I didn't know how to read a financial statement. I didn't know how to
Hmm.
get affect the EBITDA, and I started M&A. Now I can do like the CFO job myself because I've been through it a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, and you mentioned you used a specific CRM for all your businesses. I was curious, technology, AI is a big topic of this podcast. How are you using that in your businesses today?
You won't like my answer, but I really don't like AI.
Hmm.
Don't like it at all. I I feel like ChatGPT getting worse and worse, giving me biased response or don't want to give me the right answer. Um, I don't even want to use it to write emails anymore because people know it, like they see it that it's AI. So I prefer to instead of doing a long paragraph of email, just sending one sentence in an email to be straightforward as possible. The AI helped me do certain things, okay, certain little tasks, but I can live without it. Absolutely. I will never trust an AI to design my routes to make sure that I'm profitable with the economy of fuel stuff. I don't trust it enough. Um, no, the AI, I don't see it. Like for my moving companies, yes, the technology helped a lot. Like
Hmm.
at the beginning, when I bought the company, everything was by hand. I had to call the people, making them quotes by hand, sending picture. Like, but now for my moving companies, once the movie is done, by the way, all the employees are dispatched by this system automatically. When the movie is done, the client receives a notification on the phone. They pay by credit card. Payment is done. As soon as they paid, like it goes to my QuickBook. Like everything was
Nice.
it helped. But I won't include AI in it. I don't use AI in my moving company. Yeah, for the moment I don't use AI at all. Perhaps to create some pitch deck, to create some document presentation, the AI will help me. But for the moment, I don't really use it. For the moment,
Interesting. Yeah. Wow. Contrarian view for sure.
yeah, I know people
Yeah.
love it. But
I thought you found me with an AI tool.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's what I said. But sometimes I use it for the small things, and yeah, I use this AI to define it. That's true. And you saw that it was AI. See,
Yeah, I did.
yeah, I
But
didn't even
yeah,
trust this yet, but I said, oh, you know what? Let's try it. I don't have to put effort in it. Like, I just pay it, and it worked. Right now, I'm doing a good result. Good result. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, I think it's important to have a balanced view like you do. It's not something you can just kind of autopilot and use for everything. It's certain cases are it's the more useful and
yeah,
um, you just have to you have to use your brain also because it's so obvious when you're just using AI, right?
yeah. By example, I cannot build an LOI with AI. Is
Mm.
always something wrong in the contract. I can't. Always something that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm getting frustrated with this AI. So I do it myself. So I can, yeah, right now just write my emails.
Small things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Do you see AI or technology evolving with your
yeah,
business?
yeah. I see it. I start to see it now involving. I start to see that we get better and better, and I will have to use it more. I see it also with the how I found you. In my, it wasn't for my own workforce. It was with AI. So without that, yeah, yeah, AI will start more and more take place in my business.
Sure.
I like it or not, I will have to.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, we talk a lot about how to make a business more valuable on this show as well, and I think you have a lot of good foundations with identifying the right team member to be a manager of certain places. Um, how is your process for training those people? And maybe do you have like a SOP or like documented things that you want them doing each day or reporting on? I'd love to hear
So
that perspective.
first time I bought my company, I spent $10,000 of consultant came and write down a manual on what the discussion task to do, and after doing, perhaps because the way I work, but it never really get to something. Then it didn't really help a lot. Um, so I asked the previous owner to work with my new guy for months, at least 6 months, and after we were doing things on our ways. But I didn't get there. Like I tried to do this manual, writing down everything that would the owner do to have a guideline. Didn't really be. It wasn't useful for me right now.
Hmm. So what do you do instead to train them to get them to know what you want from them?
I go with the flow. For the moment, I just go with the flow. I put it there, put them there, ask for targets every week, and I keep them accountable. Yeah, whatever they want, how they want to get there, it's their thing. But I need to I need to delay. I need to put more responsibility on their shoulders. Yeah, not just on mine. So I'm not the best expert on CRM. I don't know which is the best CRM. I don't know how to do their job really. So I let them do. And I ask my industry expert to oversee a little bit once per week my team.
Yeah.
So it's like the Avengers. I'm Nick Fury. I'm not Iron Man. I'm not Hulk. I don't have any superpower. But Nick Fury is able to put people together and form the
Mm.
Avengers. So that's what, as a business owner like me and doing M&A, that's what you have to do. It's build teams, create system like that, and bring people together and do an organization.
Yeah. Smart. And that's a very valuable skill as well, right?
Yeah, something that you have to learn also how to build teams. Really, really important.
Yeah. And when you look at the metrics, what are some of the KPIs that you focus on in your businesses?
Me personally, I'm only interested in the top line gross revenue. but my team will ask for the cost per mile and stuff like that. But it varies a lot from businesses because some businesses are we pay the drivers per mile, the other business we pay per hour. So I'm a bit lost in the cost per mile and everything. But I'm looking at the top line. I know that can be dangerous. In trucking, it's difficult to get every month your bottom line. It needs like 3 months to get all your expenses and you have a proper financial statement. So yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, it's the margins, especially depending on the industry, or yeah, especially LTL, notorious. It's hard to get to
But
improve
you know
the
what?
margins too much, right?
What I'm good at, not even trucking, is M&A. It's finding deals, negotiating deals, securing the financing, structuring acquisition. That's what I'm good at, and I can get KPIs for that. I know how many deals I can close in a year, all depending on the outreach. How many outreach I'm doing per day, per week, how many
Mm,
cold calls I'm doing, how many meetings we have. That's a KPI that is more important for me. Even you had those trucking companies, people were saying, "Oh yeah, you should focus on sales, finding new clients, everything." I said, "No, I'm not going to put my time on finding clients for this company, while I should put my time on finding other companies to buy. That's how I will grow this company. Not by finding one client, no, it's by finding another company to buy. And that's how we grow fast.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, focus on your strengths, right? Your
Yeah.
superpowers there. That makes
And where we can
sense.
add more value. I'm not the best in selling trucking services to people. I don't know what I'm talking about. I didn't know what the difference between a flatbed, a dry box, a reefer. I didn't know all of that. So I'm calling people, hey, do you need trucking services? Like, didn't have any sense. But when I'm calling people with my team, hey, do you want to start a company? I can do that. Da, 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 da. I close them.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Well, great, Lexon. Yeah, it's been a great call. I know we're coming up close here on time. One question I always ask at the end is if you have one practical tip for business owners listening today.
You know, I keep my team accountable with weekly report, but keeping yourself accountable also with a weekly report for yourself, it's a game changer. When every week you sit down and you have your checklist of what you wanted to do this week and you check what have you done, how many hours you put in this and that, is a game changer. So keeping yourself accountable will change anything for the good.
Yeah, yeah, I love that answer. Yeah, exactly. You can't expand your business without managing yourself properly, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, well, great. I appreciate all the insights today, Lexon. Where's the easiest place listeners can find you?
Instagram. Right now, I'm still a young guy. Just DM me on Instagram. I will respond. So if they have any question about acquisition or they want to sell their business or buy a business, come DM me on Instagram.
For sure. Sounds good. Yeah, I'll put that in the show notes.
Thanks.
All right,
Again, thank you.
Lexon. Yeah, thank you.